and welcome to Beyond the Deals podcast. I'm your host, Gabrielle Simmons. Today we are here with D'Lornn McMullan with Loan Haus, and thank you for being here with me today.
Yeah, it's definitely a great opportunity to be here with you today, Gabrielle. Thank you.
Absolutely. And Loan Haus, if you're not familiar, is a real estate mortgage brokerage. And so you guys do all kinds of loans, all kinds of mortgages, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Give me a couple examples of the types of products you guys offer.
We offer the vanilla loans, what I like to call it, and that would be like your government loans. So that's a conventional loan, a FHA loan, a VA loan, or a USDA loan.
Those are the most common.
Correct. I'd like to just touch on it so people can really understand like what the differences of those loans are.
Yeah.
So conventional loan, that's going to be pretty much available for most of your borrowers, typically people with credit over 620. You also have FHA loans. That's going to be more available for maybe your borrowers that don't have such good credit.
Okay.
And that's going to go down all the way to 580 on the credit score. Now, both of these programs in the last year have expanded their guidelines to do a manual underwrite. So that means we use a system called AUS, which is an automated underwriting system.
Okay.
So essentially, we take all the information we've compiled from our borrower and we submit it to the system. And it gives us a pass or deny, essentially, or approved or denied. And it's really great to get things moving quickly. But for the people that need a little bit more attention, there's a thing called a manual underwrite.
Right.
And that's when, you know, the underwriter or the person who's going to be looking over your file to make sure you can be approved for the loan, they're going to have to pick through it more thoroughly. And there's going to be things like compensating factors that you'll need in order to actually get approved for that loan.
Right. And so that makes sense for people who like don't fit the traditional box, right? Of like what would give them an automatic pass. But let's say they have other extenuating circumstances that would allow them to show that they do actually have the financial stability or backing to qualify for this loan that the quick system would have otherwise told them that they don't have.
Exactly. And that's why it's really important for us as mortgage brokers to really understand our borrower and understand their full situation to find the right loan, which I like to call like a shoe that fits their situation.
And the only way to do that is for your borrower to tell you things, right?
You have to tell us the truth. You can't be lying.
Right. That's the biggest thing. And I learned that early in, I mean, I've done lots of real estate transactions of which I've only ever used a mortgage, a bank on 2 of them. And I learned in that first transaction, buying my first property, FHA, when I initially went to try to qualify for it, it was like, no. Right. And there was good reason for why I didn't qualify yet. I had just started a new business. I was less than a year into that, going from W-2 to 1099. Right. So I had to learn that first and foremost. But then I also learned that like my lender couldn't get creative. She couldn't communicate the right information to underwriting for a manual underwrite for me to be able to pass if I didn't give her the full story. You know, if I didn't tell her all the things, like I wasn't disclosing that I had 10 grand in a savings account because I didn't want to spend that.
Right.
And she's like, well, you don't have to, right? So like you telling me that you have that doesn't mean that now we're going to make that part of the transaction, but it does help you qualify for this loan now.
Right.
You know? So I learned that kind of the hard way because I lost the property that I wanted to buy because I didn't share all of the information initially.
And I love that you brought that up because my question was going to be is like, what did you learn from that experience? And like, what do you notice now that's different now that you run RE Dealmakers? Like, how do you separate those type of loan officers between loan officers like us?
And really, I would say I look for people like you know, who are curious, who are not just coming into a conversation offering information and being like, oh yeah, let me tell you this, and this. One, that's hard to receive.
Right.
That's hard for anybody to want to engage with and to be open with. But two, then it's less likely that you're going to listen and actually understand and get the full picture when that client does tell you more about their situation. So I love people like you who, we bring into deal makers, you're verified lender, because I know that when I send somebody your way, you're going to listen to them. You're going to have a conversation. And that's going to improve the odds of them actually being able to get a loan.
I love that. Yeah. And I think that's definitely what separates us as mortgage brokers or loan officers. I call myself a mortgage advisor because I'm not here just for one transaction. I'm here to help you actually set the foundation for your empire. Because the whole reason why we're doing this is for generational wealth or for a sense of security, really, right? And, kind of talking about people not listening, I think people forget to realize that this is a service industry and not a sales industry. So a lot of people get it wrong, right?
Right.
Because you have to serve others in order to receive anything, because it's a reciprocity of energy.
Yeah. And I love that you lead with that. You really do. And everyone who we send your way, they're always speaking positively of you. And I love that you look to build that long-term relationship because like you said, it's about, you're not looking to do a transaction.
Right.
And so it makes sense that you call yourself an advisor because as an advisor, we can do a transaction together. You can help me get a traditional loan, FHA, or you can help me do a DSCR, which we haven't quite touched on yet, but you can help me with that. And because of your guidance, because of all the ways that you're going to educate me through the process, now I want to come back and do more with you.
Yeah.
And actually continue to build that empire and purchase more properties with you because you're willing to advise me. And that's actually been the case with us, right? Like there's been some commercial property that I've tried to buy. And I come to you and I'm asking questions and you're educating me and you're helping me understand, okay, Gabrielle, this is the next step. This is what we're going to need here. And even when we came to a point where we saw like the property I was trying to purchase wasn't going to work out, you were still willing to educate me and advise me, right? So now when I have another one, who am I going to be calling?
Right. And also, too, I think it's our responsibility to tell people no. Because we have the experience and we've seen so many transactions, we have to have the ability to tell people no. Yeah. Because sometimes, I was telling you, I was like, hey, we keep looking at this deal, but I don't think it's a good deal.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes we just have to be honest and say that to protect you.
Yeah.
And
I actually appreciate that. Not just for me, but of course for everybody in the community.
Right. Because who would have known, like, let's say we did find funding and you got that deal closed and then the numbers didn't pan out and now it's underwater and now you're trying,
Right.
all the things that can come downhill from a bad choice, right? Or uneducated choice. Not really a bad choice, just uneducated or just not as good as we thought it was going to be. Because I think a lot of this real estate business is speculative.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And subjective to our own interpretation of information.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why, like, when people ask, oh, when's the best time to buy a home? The best time to buy a home is when you're ready. You can't chase the best interest rates or the best, this and that. You have to move when you're capable and ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you're waiting for a perfect time, you're always going to be waiting. There's so many clients I've worked with over the years and they still haven't bought a home because they're waiting for the interest rates to drop. They're waiting for the market to crash.
Right.
And it's like, guys.
Like, good luck.
Yeah. Even when the market did crash, what happened 2 to 3 years after?
Right.
So it just goes to show that the trajectory, even though it plateaus, it's only consistent, right?
Just like, and I mean, I'm not the most educated person when it comes to economics or finances, right? But how I simplify it or dumb it down is I say, just think about the dollar, think about money, right? And how over time, inflation is a real thing. When have we seen the value of a dollar go backwards? Like, right? When have we seen it? Well, like, technically it has gone backwards, but when have we seen it go the other way? Yeah.
Right.
Overall, everything gets more expensive over time. You're gonna need more dollars to buy the things over time. Houses are the same way. If you're waiting for it to change, it's highly unlikely. And when it does change, all it's doing is changing the market, not necessarily the overall value of the property.
Right.
Right. And that's when people look at like, okay, well, you just hold on for dear life. You just stay in. If a 2008 happens, that's when the market crashes. That's what people are waiting for to get into a property. Sure, it changes the value of the property, but like that's just momentarily.
Right.
And so you can get in at that time, absolutely. But if that time doesn't come, whether that time comes or not, the fact of the matter is in 5 years or 10 years from that time, that property is going to be worth a lot more.
100%.
Right? So like that's, get in. If you're ready to get in, get in.
100%. And I don't know if you've been seeing it, but one thing that I've been seeing that a lot of my clients have been bringing to my attention, they're like, oh, the market's crashing, right? Because a lot of the homes that they're looking to purchase, they're not selling for the same price that they sold 3 to 4 years ago.
Right.
The reason is because everyone waited for that perfect interest rate. And what happened?
Then the prices
went up. It caused the market frenzy, right? So you got a great interest rate, 2%, 3%, 4%, awesome. But you paid $50,000, $70,000, $100,000 over the home's value in order to do so.
Right.
So do you really win?
Right.
You know?
Right.
And that's why it's like the big big picture, right? And now people are kind of like losing their shirts or, you know, having to strike a check to sell their home without understanding the reason why. And it's because no one educated them when they were buying at low rates that, hey, you're buying the home over what it's worth.
Right.
You're probably not going to be able to tap into equity because you don't have any equity.
And when will you have equity?
Who knows, 5, 10 years, 15 years, right?
Right.
We can only hope. And yeah, it's just having that foresight of what's to come or how the history of real estate has affected the future is really important. And I think that's why sometimes people get caught up in the moment because just like you're saying, they're not looking at that bigger picture.
And it's important for us, especially as new borrowers. And you can be a new borrower and be an experienced real estate investor. It's especially important that we trust our advisor, that we are working with a lender who's seen all these transactions, who's been in the market for years, who understands these things. Because even if we feel like we know a lot, because we do, I know a lot about how to analyze a fix and flip property. I know a lot about how to understand what a property can be worth after it's fixed up. And right, like I know how to evaluate rental properties. What I don't understand a lot about is the history of your traditional buy and hold, your traditional family homes, right? And mortgages and interest rates. That's not my specialty. Right. So it's important for us, but especially as new borrowers, to have someone that we can trust that can just educate us on that and not be pushing what we saw a lot of desperate. And I am going to use that word, although I don't prefer that word, desperate lenders and realtors who were encouraging folks to buy, encouraging folks to overpay, encouraging folks, right, just so that they could get a sale because they needed it. They needed the commission. And it's important to me to have people around that, like, that's not the case. You're more focused on helping your client make a good buy than getting a commission.
100%. And I think that's why I do less volume than a lot of, mortgage brokers. Like last year, we closed 12 deals for $7.1 million. This year, we're at, I want to say 14 loans for $5.6 million.
Wow. So, already. And it's ends June.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So into July, we should be at about 7.6 million for the year. So already, broke what I did last year, helped more people, which is absolutely amazing.
Yes.
And I believe it's the compound interest of the time and attention and love I've been given to my clients.
Yes.
Because it's not necessarily about helping everybody. It's just like figuring out what you do best and then going deep into that, right? And that's kind of like touching on just kind of like how I got here.
Yes, please.
In my investment side of things, it was that I was working with first-time home buyers all the time. And for me, I just always experience a low level of commitment. Because the lack of knowledge, right? everyone's pretty, anxious, scared. It's a big decision.
Yeah.
It's probably the first time they've made such a big commitment, right?
Yeah.
Because buying a home, besides getting married, is the biggest, one of the biggest commitments we make in this life, right? 30-year mortgage, 15 years. It's a long time.
Right. Oftentimes longer than a marriage.
Unfortunately, with the stats we have nowadays, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's a direct correlation because people have a hard time committing. People have a hard time committing.
Yeah.
And, they try to jump from this thing to this thing just to find the best deal. And then they end up not getting a deal at all. Because one thing that you guys need to understand as borrowers is that we work for you guys completely for free until we get you into that home, that investment, whatever you're looking for, we're working for free.
Yeah.
And with that being said, you want to ensure that you're getting the best deal. That's why you're shopping around. The beauty about working with a mortgage advisor is that we have over 50 different lenders to shop around for you.
Right.
Does this shoe fit? No. Does this shoe fit? No. All right, let's go to this store over here. Does this shoe fit? Yeah. It's kind of fits, not the right one. Okay, different style. Boom. All right, works. This is nice. They're feeling good about it, and that's really, really important to lean on your advisors. And if you're referred to somebody that is trusted by someone you genuinely trust, just move forward with them.
Yeah.
Like worst case, you move forward with them, it doesn't work out the way you think, and then now you can, work with somebody else. But the fact that you commit, say, hey, I'm gonna get you things you need, I'm gonna work with you, you're gonna see a completely different side of that professional because they know you're committed to them so they can commit to you as well.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's one thing we don't talk about.
Yeah.
We always talk about it as like the borrower's perspective, but it's like, hey, you need to see like there are good professionals in this space, and a lot of times we're working for free, and we need to make sure you're with us so we can give you that time and attention.
Yeah, that they're just as committed as you are.
Very important.
Like any relationships. Very important.
Because it's all relationships, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what this life is about. Creating relationships, being with the people you love, your friends, your chosen family. Like that's what it's all about, but it's all relationships.
Yeah.
So it's like trust in that relationship, trust in that referral, and just move in good faith. Because, there's always a possibility of what if, of what, could possibly go wrong. But why don't you put your faith in what can?
Right.
Right.
Yep. And so let's go back a little bit because you're in the lending space and you're doing amazing in this. You've been doing this for a few years. What did you do prior to this? Because I know your history and what you've learned is what has made you such a great advisor now. So what did you do prior?
100%. So I was still in the service industry. I was in car sales, which is still a service industry, believe it or not.
Still finding the right fit for people.
Still finding the right fit, right? Finding the right terms, the right car for the needs.
Right.
Because anytime someone's making a decision, it's from a deep internal need. It's not from just like a surface level, like, oh, I need a house. They need a house because they want a sense of security for their family. They want consistency, safety. There's real drivers behind why they're doing this.
Right.
But I worked at car sales, did that for 3 years. And then before that, I was a custom suit designer at Men's Warehouse. And then before that,
literally finding the right fit.
literally. That's why, I grew up watching like James Bond and 007 and stuff. So like, I just always love suits. And,
You're not old enough for that.
You know what?
Come on.
I'm a 90s baby,
Barely. Okay.
99, come on. Don't let them take it away from you. If you're 99's baby, you're a 90s baby.
You are not. Okay. I'm not going to let you have that, but we'll continue.
But yeah, before the custom suit design at Men's Warehouse, I was doing telemarketing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was selling knockoff printer cartridges.
Oh, interesting.
Terrible. It's terrible.
So from all of these different spaces that you've been in, what have you learned? What has been your biggest takeaway that you can say you've been able to apply to being a mortgage advisor that has helped you be successful?
I would say the biggest thing is showing up. It's not about being on time or being late. It's about showing up. And the more you can show up, the more consistency you'll build, the more momentum you'll build, and it'll appear in all the other areas of your life. And it's one thing that I'm still mastering, right? Something I haven't perfected it or anything like that, but instead of like beating myself up for, being late or X, Y, and Z, it's like, I'm showing up.
Yeah.
I'm just going to show up. And as long as you can show up, you can get something done.
Yeah.
And I think my clients know me so well. I have so many repeat clients, right? Even if things get pushed out, they know that deal's going to close because I don't put my stamp really on anything unless it closes. Now, we've had deals that fell through, right? It happens. It's the nature of the business.
Right.
But my investors can have confidence when I give them a pre-approval letter or say, hey, we can close on this property for these terms. I'm able to get them those terms. And I think that's very important. And that's the part of showing up, right?
Yeah, because then people come to learn, people come to learn that they can count on you.
Exactly.
And that's super important. Like you said, whether you show up perfectly or you show up late or you show up, with an adjustment that needs to occur, you're showing up.
Right. That's the only thing that matters is like, if you can just every day show up for yourself in maybe one way or multiple ways, like your life is going to be so much more beautiful in say 6 months or a year with just that one technique.
Yeah.
And then, I would also say another thing is just like being selfless. The more I focused on like my income and how much money I wanted to generate, the more it ran away from me. But the more I focused on just serving others and genuinely helping people, it just came back. And my mom always said like a giving hand is never empty, something along those lines.
Okay.
And essentially what that means is like, if you provide for others, God's going to provide for you. So don't worry about the income. Don't worry about all this other stuff. Just provide for others, serve others, and he'll take care of you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I believe that wholeheartedly.
And if you can embody that, people are going to feel that. People are going to know that you're not just talking to them to make a dollar.
Right.
They're going to know that you're genuinely interested in them and care about their well-being.
Yeah. Yeah. And that goes so far. Now, it's important to be selfless, right? In that manner. It's also important to do the things especially when you work for yourself and you have to be self-motivated, self-driven. You have to ensure that mind, body, spirit, like you are able to continue to show up, right?
Yes.
What's a part of your life that you have ensured allows you to continue to show up that isn't related to work, something that you do personally that keeps you balanced?
I would say daily meditation, prayer, and jiu-jitsu. Those things are what keeps me grounded. I do it just about every single day. If I miss it in the morning, I do it at night or vice versa. But that really allows me to be grounded. And also just keep a good mindset. Life is hard, guys. Life is hard. Like we all know this. We've all been through something, right? We're not special because we've been through trauma. We've all been through something. I think that's something like everyone needs to recognize. And with that being said, it's like you got to find out how to best maintain your mental health, spirit, body, in order to keep moving through this life in the best way.
Yeah. That's something else that I am finding to be very important in the building of this community is like-minded people who not only are like-minded in how we operate in business and coming from a place of high integrity and collaboration, but also most of us are of like mind in the sense of like we prioritize our health and well-being and taking care of our bodies. And I think you can tell the difference oftentimes between those who do prioritize that and those who don't. And that's not a shot at anybody. Like I've also been there. I've been someone who didn't prioritize my body and my mental health. All I prioritized was making money and doing business. And I think it's very important to maintain a balance in that because it helps us show up even better in business when we are prioritizing how we feel, what we put in our bodies, how we exercise. You post on Instagram, you're freaking ripped and you do amazing things in jiu-jitsu. And the strength and resilience that you build, not just physically, right? But like mentally, it creates so much resilience when you're fighting. I assume tell me more, because I really don't know anything about Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but what is that like for you?
So for me, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, or what we call BJJ, has been, I would say, monumental in how I show up for myself. Because in jiu-jitsu, you know, you get decent. Well, actually, you first start off by just getting beat up. You go for like the first.
Terrible.
It's terrible. You start for the first 6 months. You probably got bubble guts before you go into class because you're afraid of getting beat up. And yeah, you have to get beat up, mauled by other, men. Probably even if you're a man, even women that are trained, that are smarter than you, that can still beat you up. So it's a very, very humbling experience. You can't have an ego in jiu-jitsu. You really can't.
I like that.
The people that do have egos are the people that don't last long because it teaches you humility every day.
They quit, right? They walk away. So they're quitting on themselves because of their ego.
They're quitting on themselves.
Just have to throw that out there. All right.
Because what people don't realize is the biggest winners in life are the biggest losers. And what I mean by that is they've lost the most and they keep showing up. And if you can do that, if you can have resiliency, perseverance, and ground yourself through hard times, you can literally get through anything in this life. And to caveat that, it's taught me patience. And I think patience is probably one of the most powerful virtues we can have as humans. Because it really allows us to take a moment to understand others, to understand a situation, and to kind of take ourselves out of the suffering. Because a lot of times, like, yes, we're suffering, but we add on to it.
Yeah.
It's not as bad, right?
And a lot of that is due to us wanting what we want right now and not having the patience. I am the poster child of that, actually.
Instant gratification.
Yeah, and just like I want what I want, and I want it now. And now I have learned discipline, and the importance of that, and not taking advantage of instant gratification for a lot of things. But ultimately, like, patience is the biggest thing that I'm learning. Of just it does reduce suffering. It does, when we can slow down and just be like, okay, yes, I want what I want, but maybe I don't need it right now. Right. Maybe this isn't meant for me right now. Maybe there's a lesson I need to learn first before I have that. And yeah, that patience makes a big difference.
Have you ever thought about doing like jujitsu or something hard that you've never done before?
Not jujitsu, but everything else. I mean, like becoming a truck driver was that for me. It was terrifying, and I was bad at it. And I failed my first time I went to test, and second time.
Same here. I failed twice on my LO test. I passed the third time. Yep. But we kept showing up.
Right. Being willing to. Then there's a quote. I don't know who says it, but there's a quote that says, you have to be willing to suck. Right. Like, you have to be willing to be bad at something first.
You do.
And then over time, you can't stay bad at it long. I mean, maybe you can, but hopefully not. Hopefully you learn things as you go, and then you get better at it. And not just better at the practice itself, right? But as we get better at the practice, as you get better at jiu-jitsu, you get better.
Exactly.
Internally, in how you think and how you process and how you receive that win or that loss. Like, it all goes together.
Because to touch on your point, like, for me now, because I compete so much in jiu-jitsu, like, when I lose, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't actually matter if I win. It only matters if I'm getting better. Yeah. Am I growing? Right. Am I 1% better than I was yesterday? Right. That's genuinely the only thing that matters. Because, again, jiu-jitsu has a way of humility. Yeah. So, I got my blue belt within 2 years, which is relatively fast, I think, for getting your blue belt. But, you know, what it had taught me was that belts and recognition don't necessarily matter. What really matters is just that self-progression and being the best version of yourself, you know, because accolades, accomplishments, they come and go, but what stays is how you feel about yourself internally.
Yeah, for sure. And you've also spoken to surrounding yourself with the right people,
right,
and your chosen family. Why do you use that phrase? So, and where does that come from?
Well, because I come from a troubled childhood. You know, family was together, but in a way it was very broken. And with experiencing that, I had to understand that, you know, family is only connected by blood. And after that connection, the connection that you have with them is your choice. Because they're their own humans and you're your own human.
Right.
Once they give birth to you, you're your own person. So chosen family, it's like, I'm sure you have really, really good friends like Lorena, for example. Like, I'm sure she's like a sister for you.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's the important thing is like we can build family and community no matter where we go. You know?
Yeah.
It's not just home. It's not just your parents or people that are connected by blood. You can build family and community everywhere you go. And it's just making that conscious choice.
Yeah. And you've done that. And are you from Colorado, from Denver?
No, I'm from California originally.
Okay.
Yeah, so grew up in Vallejo up till the 3rd grade, and then I moved to a small town called Dixon, which is a country town, less than 20,000 people. And it really did shape how I grew up, you know, small town, everyone kind of knows everybody. Everyone knows the chisme, as I like to call it, or the gossip, you know, on the block about everybody.
Right.
And it keeps you in this little ecosystem. And it keeps you accountable in a way, you know, because you can, because everyone knows you, it allows you to express yourself and have fun and maybe get away with some things that maybe you shouldn't have got away with because they know you. And then on the same time, the things that you shouldn't be doing, they're going to hold you accountable because
It's going to be exposed.
Right. It's going to be exposed. And they, you know, like, for example, like we tried to do cow tipping, you know. Fun fact, cows can sleep standing up. And they're aggressive. So don't try to roll up on any sleeping cows. But yeah, I got a little mouthful of that from my mom, you know, like, what are you guys doing? Pushing cows and all this stuff. But anyways, I digress. The good thing is that it's a community. It's an ecosystem. Again, it's like chosen family. And the same friends that I grew up with, I'm still friends with today.
Nice.
You know, some friends I've had since 5th grade. And kind of touching on that, what's so beautiful about chosen family is, you know, I was able to go to Alaska 2 weeks ago to see my buddy Ben and Claire get married. And, you know, they met each other senior year of high school. And it was just so beautiful to be a part of someone's life for so long, to see them grow and then be able to celebrate their love, you know? And I'm a big teddy bear, man. I think life is just about loving and, you know, being the best version of yourself and giving all you can.
Yeah. And you do that. And you've built a family, it seems, here in Colorado too, you know, and the people that you surround yourself with in work and personally. You know, it seems like you have really good, solid relationships with people who trust you and who you guys can lean on each other for something, right? You know, and that's the beauty of a chosen family. When I came back from truck driving, I remember feeling like, okay, the friends that I had from school age, most of them, really all of them, didn't align with me anymore. And I was like, I have no friends. And I wasn't super close with a lot of my family either. But I remember just this feeling, and then getting around other people who are also like, yeah, you know, I don't really have any friends. And then deciding that I was going to build friendships, that I was going to create a family. And so I started doing that than by just getting on Facebook and posting like, hey, I'm going on a hike this weekend. Does anybody want to go with me? And like literally meeting up with strangers. And that's weird, sure. But it's also not that weird, right? When we were little kids, we went to school with strangers, but we happened to be in the same class, right? Proximity allowed us to be in the same place and then decide, hey, do I want to spend a little bit more time with you? When we went to playgrounds as little kids, same thing. You're there to do your own thing, but somebody else is there to do their own thing. And then maybe you spark up a conversation. Maybe you both like playing in the sandbox. And so you become friends. And I enjoy the opportunity to continue to do that now as an adult, to hang out at the playground and find people that want to play in the sandbox with me. That, it's like, and maybe we just play together one time and, maybe we don't meet up here again, but maybe we do. And we decide that we want to show up together and have fun together and build together. And like, that can come from your family, and a lot of us would like it too. But especially when you find that your family or your friends from childhood don't align with who you are or the path that you're on today, it's like there's nothing but opportunity to go create that.
100%. And the one thing I love that you brought up is just like tapping into that like inner child, because I think we're so conditioned and thinking X, Y, and Z. It's like the more we can tap into that inner child, the more we can grow. We can let them grow.
Yes.
Through our experiences as an adult now.
Yes. I do also want to talk about your investment space as well. What are you doing? We talked about like traditional mortgages, and how you show up for people in that space. Let's talk more about how your relationships look with investors and just the different avenues that you've explored there.
Yeah, definitely. So my 3 biggest demographic of borrowers is investors, entrepreneurs / business owners, which are entrepreneurs anyway, and then veterans, because I'm a veteran myself. And what I've noticed is a lot of small business owners, entrepreneurs, investors, especially when getting started, they make good income, but they write off everything under the sun. So it makes them look like they maybe rub 2 nickels at the end of the year, or maybe they net negative, right? Because we've seen it. If you can depreciate, business use of home, all these tax strategies, you can actually make negative, net negative income on your taxes. So realizing that this is a big problem that a lot of people are having, I was trying to figure out like, how can I solve the problem? I like solving problems. And essentially how we solve those problems and help investors is we have 3 main products that we use to help investors. So we have fix and flip loans. So that's going to be for you to acquire the property, renovate the property, and it's going to be a short-term loan, typically 6 to 12 months. You'll renovate the property, and after you renovate the property, you'll either sell the property or you'll hold the property as an investment, whether that's a long-term rental, mid-term rental, or short-term rental. Now, after you acquire, a fix and flip, you're going to need a refinance, right? Because this is a short-term loan, 6 to 12 months. You got to pay off the whole thing in 6 to 12 months. So
either you're selling it or you're,
right? Or you're refinancing it.
Yep.
So the way we help investors acquire properties with ease is through business bank statement loans, which is the last 12 or 24 months of their business bank statements. Or we can even use your personal bank statements in order to qualify you for the loan. For a primary purchase, like you're going to live in the home and occupy the home, you can do as little as 10% down with a business bank statement loan. And the beauty of it...
Wait.
Go ahead.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I know.
You can use a bank statement loan. I thought that only applies to non-owner occupied.
Primary homes, secondary homes, and investments.
Wow.
You can use it for a purchase, a rate and term refinance, which is just changing the interest rate, or a cash out refinance, which is actually pulling out some equity so you can have cash in your pocket.
And you can do that on a primary.
And you can do that on a primary.
Mind blown, man.
I'm actually helping out your girl with one right now. So we're going to get her set up.
Yes, amazing.
But yeah, it's simply just the lack of knowledge is what's stopping people.
Yeah.
You know, and if they have the right person, they can do it. So bank statements, and then the other one is a DSCR loan. That's a debt service coverage ratio loan, and all that means is the debt has to service and cover the mortgage. As long as the property, the rental income, can cover the mortgage payment, then you're going to be qualified.
Yep.
And the three things they focus on is I call it ACC: assets, credits, and cash flow. ACC.
Cash flow. Okay.
Yes. ACC: assets, credit, and cash flow. That's what they're going to qualify you off of on a DSCR loan. So they don't look at any of your income, which is really cool.
Personal. It's all based on the property's income.
All based off of the property and how the property can inform as or perform as an investment.
Right. Oh, okay. Asset, the asset being the property itself, personal credit, and then the property's cash flow.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, there's some cool things because a DSCR loan isn't just kind of just like one type of loan. There's multiple different types. I'm not going to get too far into it, but just know if the property doesn't cash flow, we do have DSCR loans that will still get you funded on non-cash flowing properties.
Again, something I didn't know. I've done a DSCR on a duplex that I owned, and I thought there was one type and that it had to be at least a 1.2 at the time. It was a minimum of a 1.2 ratio.
And that's because that's probably the only thing that your broker knew. And that's why he offered it to you. And he couldn't offer you anything else because that's all he knew. Yeah, we do properties that have negative cash flow on paper and still get those closed.
Wow.
That's called a no ratio, meaning it doesn't have the cash flow, it can lose money.
What?
There's another thing called a low ratio, which is if the rental income is 25% less than the mortgage, then we can still get that qualified. Meaning if you...
Low ratio.
Yeah, if you lose 25% of your money monthly, we can still get you qualified. That's the easiest way to explain it.
Wow.
But it really opens the doors for investors
Right.
to be versatile and to take these properties down with ease.
Right. I like to think in forms of examples. That could be the difference of, hey, I got this fix and flip. It's not going to sell. I'm tied up in a hard money loan. My monthly payments are $3-4 grand a month on it. Interest is 14%.
Right.
The market doesn't support me being able to sell this property anytime soon. What are my options? If I go to lender A and lender A says, well, that property, you can rent it out as we'll just go with long-term rental. And it's going to make you $3,000 a month. Sorry, can't help you. Right? Nope.
Exactly.
We can't do a DSCR. Versus lender B, the amazing D'Lornn over here is going to be like, well, yes, your negative cash flow. I can give you a, what is
No
ratio DSCR.
Yep.
So now you have an option. And with that option is going to be, okay, I assume most likely now I'm going to have to come to the table with some cash. I'm going to have to come, because you guys aren't going to fund 100%. I may still owe on this fix and flip loan. So I might have to come to the table with 30, 40, 50 grand, right? But it's still solving a problem. It's still creating a solution where 30, 40, 50 grand to get this one done is still going to save me money, because if I stay in this fix and flip loan in 1 year, in 1 year, I'm going to be owing freaking 70, 80, 90 grand, right? Like, so just looking at those numbers and being aware of like how this actually plays out long term and what our options are is offering such a world of difference for us.
Because it's really a difference between losing the empire and building the empire. If you don't have the tools, you can never build the right empire.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'm not even going to get into it. Was there something? Nope. I'm going to let that one go.
But one thing I do want to say is not necessarily everyone's going to be coming to the closing table with money on refinances. If they did a good job on buying the property and buying it at a deep price, right, below the value, well below the value, and they have equity, then when they refinance, there's potential where the equity covers any closing costs and they can still get money back.
Right.
So they don't necessarily always have to come out of money. I've helped some investors, like one of my big investors, they did 70 exits last year. We closed 3 deals in 1 day. Those were all hard money loans, all with the same hard money loan investor that gave them the loan.
Wow.
And same thing, they went to multiple different lenders. They said they can do X, Y, and Z. They couldn't perform. They were in these loans 3 months longer than they should have been, having to get an extension with the hard money lender. And you know, hard money lenders, they're not easy to deal with.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, they were denied by 3 other lenders before they found me. And then I closed those 3 deals on the same day within a month.
Wow. That's amazing.
And it's all about just knowing your tools.
Yeah.
Knowing your tools. And I pride myself in being a student. I will always be a student of life. Because I feel like once you stop learning is when you start dying.
Yeah. And fewer people you can help. Because now you have fewer tools in your toolbox.
And it's, you know, really my goal is just to make it easy for people to succeed. You know, give them the easiest possible route to succeed in what they're trying to do.
Right. I love that. I really value you being a part of this community. I don't know how you found us. Do you know how did you find us?
Our boy Jordan.
How did you find Jordan?
Through community and just networking.
Okay.
Yeah. Just through the community.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it's like once you do this at a certain level, the community is fairly small. It seems big, but it's actually fairly small for the people that are actually doing it.
Right. Yeah.
And you know, you just get surrounded by like-minded people, and you want to just see how you can be a part of that even more.
Yeah.
So thank you for what you're doing, because this is definitely the first, you know, real estate community that I've been a part of. It's been a blessing. I've already been able to help people in the community, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity.
Thank you for saying that. It's a very rewarding thing for me to be able to facilitate these events and these classes and the group, you know, both online and in person. And we got to have our first family cookout this last weekend, you know, and I'm glad you were able to come to that and bring a friend. And yeah, it's such a beautiful thing that we're building together, that everybody who decides to be a part of this community and really is committing to it, you know, long term. And that's what I also love about what we're building is you don't see a lot of like one-offs or like the people who show up, they tend to keep showing up. And the people who we start to do transactions with, like we keep doing transaction with them. And that's the whole point for me, is that we are in this for the long haul. And even if we have a disagreement, you know, like it's business, but it's still relationships at the end of the day. We haven't gotten into it yet, but I'm sure our time is coming where, you know, maybe there's a tough conversation that needs to be had or a misunderstanding or just room where we want to ensure that our needs are being met. Maybe we feel like they aren't. But I love that I'm in a space with people who are willing to commit to that and having the conversations and building together.
Yeah, I agree. That's it's funny too, because I was just talking to Carrie yesterday, and she was just raving about just how valuable the community's been to her. You know, she's like, I'm having all these ideas. Like, I didn't even think this was possible, because you know she's part of the older generation, right? Our parents, like they were never taught any of this.
Right.
It was just drag your knuckles, work as hard as you can until you get your pension and retire. And hopefully you're allowed to enjoy it. Right. And yeah, that's why you need community, so we can all get there quicker. You know?
Yeah.
To go fast, go alone. To go far, go together.
Yes. I love that.
There's a reason there's that saying.
Yes. Yes. Well, I would love for you to share with our viewers how they can get in touch with you.
100%. So my phone number is 530-665-9497. My email is DLOANZ, D'Lornn, what's up, at Loan Haus, HAUS.com. You can follow me on Instagram, dtown_30. Connect with me. I want to help you in any way that I can. And yeah, let's see what we can do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I also really appreciate that you go by D'Lo, because you have a very unique name.
Yes.
D'Lornn. But D'Lo makes it easy.
Yeah, make it easy. Like, everyone knows my name, you know? Let me just make it a little bit easier on you.
Right.
And I don't know, also having people call me D-Lo creates that friendship because that's all my close friends call me growing up, you know? So it's like, I want you to be a friend.
Yeah. Yeah. We're homies. You can call me my nickname. That applies for you, not for me.
Yeah.
People try to call me Gabby. That's a no. Anyways, thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for being a part of our community and everything that you contribute. And thank you for watching today. And we'll see you guys next time.
Peace out.